Hey everyone, and welcome back to the deep dive. We love to, really get into some fascinating topics. And today we're going to be looking at a book called Spiritist Conduct. This was written by Waldo Vieira and inspired by the spirit André Luiz. So think of this book kind of like a speedful etiquette guide for those who are embracing Spiritism. It shows how to live those principles every day in every single area of your life.
And it really is all about practicality. It's not just these lofty spiritual ideals. It's like, how do you actually apply those principles to your daily life, at home, at work, in your relationships? It covers it all.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's one of the things that makes this book so interesting is that it's broken down into these 47 sections, and they each focus on a very specific area. So you can really pinpoint, if you're struggling with something in particular, you can go to that section and kind of get some guidance.
It's like a roadmap for living a truly spiritist life. And like you said, it's got practical advice on everything, from family dynamics to raising children,
Yeah.
to navigating social situations, even engaging in politics.
Okay, so let's dive into some of the key messages and themes that we see running through this book. One of the first things that jumped out at me, at least, was this emphasis on women's roles as the spiritual heart of the family.
For sure. Spiritist conduct portrays women as the guardians of the family. They are the ones who are responsible for nurturing the spiritual development of their children and creating this harmonious home environment.
And it really takes a strong stance against abortion, calling it a grave crime. So we can see right there, that sanctity of life within Spiritism is incredibly important.
Yeah.
But one of the things I found really interesting was how the book views challenging marriages.
Yeah. It presents this idea that, those difficult marital unions, they're actually opportunities for spiritual growth. It's almost like these challenges are these tests
Yeah.
that push you to develop patience, forgiveness, and unconditional love.
Yeah, that's a powerful way to look at it. Instead of thinking about it as, a failure or like this relationship is struggling, it's like, no, this is actually helping me evolve.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a stepping stone on the path to spiritual evolution.
Exactly.
And that idea of personal transformation through trials is a recurring theme throughout the entire book. It doesn't matter if it's facing challenges within a marriage, navigating social interactions, even dealing with illness or death. Spiritist conduct really encourages you to see these experiences as opportunities for growth.
So it's not about, pretending that everything's fine.
Yeah.
Or avoiding difficulties. It's about using those challenges and, making yourself into a better person through those difficulties.
Exactly.
And speaking of, development and bettering yourself, the book offers a lot of guidance for young people too. It's about finding that balance. They have all this youthful enthusiasm, but how do you find the wisdom that comes with age?
Yeah, there's a lot of emphasis on seeking guidance from elders, cultivating patience, avoiding extremes, which, let's be honest, is great advice for anyone, not just young people.
Oh, absolutely.
And it highlights another really important theme throughout the book, community and mentorship.
Yeah. It's not about, doing this all alone, right? You need to have your community and people to help guide you and support you. And I think that's especially apparent in the sections that are focused on leadership and mediumship within Spiritism.
For sure. The book really goes into detail about those responsibilities, for those who lead those medium mystic meetings, emphasizing humility, discipline, and service.
It's like you're saying if you're going to be a leader, especially when we're talking about the spirit world, you have to be grounded and responsible.
Exactly. And there's this huge emphasis on avoiding personal gain or exploitation. It's about using your gifts for the benefits of others, not for self-promotion or personal profit.
And I like how specific it is about conducting those meetings. There's these specific guidelines about using rituals and symbols and even managing physical manifestations.
Right. It seems like there's a deep respect for the spirit world and a recognition that there are potential dangers involved in interacting with it. So there's a real need for discipline and careful guidance.
Right. So we're not just approaching this casually. It's not entertainment. It's acknowledging that power and approaching it with reverence and respect.
Exactly.
And, this same sense of responsibility extends to how individuals share the Spiritist doctrine. There's a lot of emphasis on clear and simple communication, respecting other beliefs, avoiding anything that feels sensationalized or exploitative. Which is kind of interesting. You would think that, a doctrine that's focused on the spirit world might be a little bit more flashy or attention-grabbing.
Right. But instead, it's advocating for a more humble and authentic approach. It's not about forcing beliefs on anyone. It's about presenting the truth and allowing individuals to find their own path.
It's leading by example.
Exactly.
And that ties in with the book's focus on personal transformation, right? It's about constantly challenging yourself to become a better person.
Spiritist conduct is all about that. It's not enough to just say you're a spiritist. You have to live it every day.
Exactly. And that means every area of your life.
Yeah.
How you interact with your family, your colleagues, how you handle your finances, how you spend your leisure time.
All of it. It really goes into all of those areas, offering guidance on everything from creating a peaceful home environment, raising children with strong values, to being a responsible citizen, engaging in charitable work, and even navigating politics.
Wow. It's really about integrating those spiritual principles into every aspect of your life.
And that takes us to another important theme, this interconnectedness of all things. It emphasizes that it's not just about personal growth, but it's also about our responsibility to the world around us.
So it's not just about me and my spiritual journey. It's about understanding that we're all connected and that my actions impact others and the planet.
Precisely. And the book really encourages you to appreciate the natural world, use resources responsibly, show compassion towards animals, and just generally live in a way that promotes harmony and balance.
Yeah.
It even addresses how to approach illness and death with acceptance and understanding, recognizing that those things are natural parts of life's journey.
So Spiritism isn't just about the individual soul. It's about understanding how we fit into this larger web of existence and understanding that our actions have these ripple effects that extend far beyond ourselves.
Because Spiritist conduct gives you that practical guidance on how to live in a way that acknowledges those connections and strives to create a more harmonious and loving world for everyone. You know, it's fascinating how Spiritist conduct takes those big ideas like interconnectedness and applies them to like even the little things in life.
Right, like even our consumption habits.
Yeah.
It encourages readers to really be mindful of that
Yeah.
and advocate for a simple lifestyle. One that's not depleting the Earth's resources or contributing to unnecessary suffering.
It's about recognizing that even those tiny choices, like what we eat, what we buy, how we get rid of our waste, all of that can have like a ripple effect on the environment and other living beings.
Yeah. It's not about, becoming an extremist or depriving yourself. It's more about making those conscious choices that are aligned with a more sustainable and compassionate way of life.
Exactly. And that same mindfulness, it goes into our social interactions too, like how to navigate those situations in a way that reflects the values, but also respects those individual differences and, promotes harmony.
Yeah, like it advises against participating in certain celebrations or customs that might clash with those values.
Yeah.
But it also stresses the importance of treating everyone with kindness and understanding, regardless of, their beliefs or behaviors.
It's about finding that balance, right?
Yeah.
Staying true to your principles, but also being compassionate and inclusive.
Right.
It's not about isolating yourself or judging other people. It's about engaging with the world and promoting understanding and respect.
And that makes me think about the book's guidance on approaching death. It encourages a sense of acceptance and understanding that death is not an end, but a transition.
Yeah. To another phase of existence. And it specifically discourages those big funerals or, excessive displays of grief. It advocates for a simpler and more heartfelt way to honor the departed soul.
Which makes sense, given that belief in reincarnation. If death is seen as a transition instead of like the end, it makes sense to approach it with peace and acceptance rather than fear and despair.
Exactly. And that focus on simplicity and authenticity, it extends to all areas of Spiritist practice, including leadership and mediumship.
Right.
Spiritist conduct is very clear about avoiding personal gain or exploitation in those roles.
It's about service.
Yeah.
Not about, getting recognition or power. True spiritual leadership is about empowering others.
Yeah. Facilitating their growth.
Right.
It's not about self-aggrandizement.
And that ties in with the book's discussion of mediumship. Viewing those abilities as gifts that are meant to help others, not as something to be, proud of or to profit from.
It even discourages mediums from seeking praise or attention, reminding them that the source of their abilities comes from the spiritual realm.
Right. It's about humility.
Exactly.
It's not about you or how special you are. It's about being that channel.
Exactly. For guidance and healing.
And I like how Spiritist conduct doesn't shy away from addressing those potential pitfalls that can come up with mediumship, like becoming too reliant on, guidance from spirits.
Yeah, the danger of sensationalism.
Right.
It stresses discernment and critical thinking, and maintaining a healthy balance between seeking guidance and developing your own responsibility.
Right.
It's about integrating those experiences and those insights into your own life.
Yeah, like don't get caught up in those big events and those phenomena, but remember the core principles.
Exactly.
of, personal transformation and ethical living.
It brings us to one of the most fundamental parts of the book.
Yeah.
Personal transformation. Through self-reflection and moral improvement.
Yeah, you can't just understand it or believe in it. You have to embody those principles.
In your thoughts, words, actions, all of it. It challenges you to constantly evaluate yourself, identify those areas where you can grow and evolve, and make a conscious effort to align your actions with your beliefs.
It's about acknowledging that none of us are perfect, but striving to always be better.
Right. It's embracing that journey of growth and transformation.
Exactly.
And this process. It's not just for our own benefit, it's for everyone around us.
Which is where the idea of charity comes in. It encourages us to show compassion and understanding and support to everyone.
Regardless of their circumstances or their beliefs.
It's recognizing that connection we all have.
Extending a helping hand.
And it doesn't have to be these huge gestures.
Right.
Sometimes the smallest acts of charity are the most meaningful. A kind word, listening to someone.
Just being present.
And, Spiritist conduct reminds us that charity goes beyond just us. It's our responsibility to nature and animals, too.
Appreciating the natural world, using resources responsibly, and protecting animals from harm.
It's understanding that we're all part of this delicate ecosystem.
And our actions impact everyone and everything.
Yeah, it's about cultivating that sense of reverence and respect for all creation, understanding that our well-being is tied to the well-being of the planet.
And that leads us to another important aspect, knowledge and education.
Yeah, it encourages lifelong learning, not just studying, those fundamental works of Spiritism, but also exploring different perspectives.
Engaging with science.
Right.
Appreciating art.
It's about having that holistic view of knowledge and recognizing that science, art, and spirituality can all help us understand ourselves and the universe.
It's about always wanting to learn more.
Exactly.
Expanding our horizons.
And ultimately, Spiritist conduct leads to this profound message of living in constant awareness of Jesus' presence and guidance.
It's a beautiful thought.
It is. It's like every action, every decision becomes an opportunity to show our devotion.
And align ourselves with his teachings.
It's not about just going to church or, reciting prayers. It's about embodying those principles of love and compassion and service.
And everything we do.
Yeah, that's powerful.
It really is.
It takes the ordinary and makes it sacred.
Yeah, it gives purpose and meaning to every moment.
So we're not separating our daily lives from our spiritual lives.
All right.
Spiritist conduct is showing us they're intertwined.
Every choice we make matters.
Exactly.
And that brings us right back to that core message. True spirituality isn't about dogma or rituals. It's about living a life that reflects our values.
It's about always trying to be better, not just for ourselves, but for everyone around us.
And recognizing that we're all connected.
And our actions matter.
Promoting harmony, understanding compassion.
And that's why this book is so relevant even today.
Yeah.
For people who don't consider themselves spiritists.
It's a timeless guide.
It really is.
To navigating life.
Yeah, it reminds us that we can grow, we can love, and we can make a difference.
As we wrap up our deep dive into Spiritist conduct, think about how its principles might resonate with your life.
Yeah, what small changes can you make today? To live more in alignment with your own values, how can you cultivate a greater sense of awareness and compassion and responsibility in how you interact with others and the world around you?
Remember, even the tiniest act of kindness, the smallest shift in perspective, the most sincere effort to better yourself, it can make a difference.
Yeah.
It creates a more beautiful and harmonious world.
For us and for future generations.
If you're interested in learning more, you can find Spiritist Conduct online for free.
Just search for it.
And you'll be well on your way to a deeper understanding of this book.
And to living a more meaningful life.
Until next time, keep seeking, keep learning, and keep diving deep.